Hello to Steiny.
Hello.
And Guru. Hi, boys.
I don't want to hog the mic. Like, I really look forward to this sector of the show,
We're
man.
exhausted.
Okay, so I'm getting into golf.
Good for you.
Shout out Schneebs, who I met at where did I meet him at? Tell him where I met him.
You met him at the pub.
He has a set of golf clubs waiting to give to me. I didn't ask for him. And the lessons start Monday. And he said, Willard and Dibs used to bring you guys donuts. He used to Uber in the city.
Yeah.
So I'm juiced, your boy, about to be on the court.
Okay,
the course.
Where are you going first? Are you going
Lake Chabot.
You're going to a range, I hope?
Yeah, range.
Okay.
And I'm going to have him video, not to show you guys.
Have you never played before?
No, I've hit, but
okay.
I'm Sammy Sosa when it comes to hitting with something in your hand, a baseball bat. I'm strong with it.
Yeah, you're going to have to get
So
that.
I went out there and I know what it's about. It ain't the same, but
No. In fact, it'll very much
swing as hard as you can. That's my advice to you.
and close your eyes.
I don't know if he's being real or
I'm not being real.
Oh,
I'm not being real.
Yeah.
No, you're going to learn. I'm not going to give you advice because I stink at golf, but just
you don't stink.
Well, quietly, I'm no good anymore, but it's very counterintuitive in that the harder you swing, a lot of times the shorter the shot goes. So you'll have to learn how to quiet. Like, you watch Mark Willard swing a golf club.
Can he swing it?
It's like watching a guy pour a glass of milk, real slow and smooth.
Not always.
It's like our buddy Alex has one of those swings.
Totally. Steiny plays golf like I would imagine him shooting a jumper, mid-range, not from distance, but his form is impeccable.
Ray Allen.
Unbelievably consistent. Steiny's issues oftentimes are with the putter and between the ears.
Yeah, about that.
And
Free throws?
No.
His golf swing is incredibly repeatable. He has a very nice swing. If you just watched him hit the ball, you would figure he's better than he actually scores.
Wow.
You left out.
Hiccups.
And you know what? There's a drug and alcohol problem, too, at times, if you want me to be honest.
Okay. He
Cut
cut it
that.
out there.
There's a cut.
Willard, have you two golf together?
We haven't.
No,
See,
we
this
haven't.
is what
We will, though. We set a few days.
I'm
Don't
bring
bring
us
us together
together
pencil
because
some stuff
the
in.
fact that Shasky and Steiny and Dibs, now correct me if I'm wrong, how do we all work at the same venue? You guys have the same love, but yet have not been in course together. Shame on you.
Well, but think about it.
Shame on Dibs. Make that happen.
So what time of day would Steiny and
a Saturday.
Guru doesn't get it.
Right, so
A Sunday.
single dad, 3 kids.
All right, now when
blame
you hit
me.
me with the
I
kids,
can't go.
right.
Like, why do you
I'm
think?
done.
Why do you think I do watch parties? Because we can't leave the house.
I'm
Like,
feeling you. Mine are
like
older
you
now.
gotta come to
Yeah.
me, or
All right.
else I'm out. Like I can't get anywhere. So anyway, you can blame me on that one, but. Yeah, good luck. Your strength will do nothing for you.
Wow, man.
It's more about your torque.
Yeah.
Look, watch PGA Tour. How many wiry-looking 23-year-olds
Zalatoris
are out there
you
hitting
don't
the
have to
ball
be big.
350 yards?
That's wow.
Hey,
You
can
get
I
spaghetti arms, and they're hitting the ball 350.
let me amend something? I think you should go to Metropolitan.
Oh,
'Cause
not
they-
Chabot.
Right, because they have grass driving range as opposed to mats.
Okay.
Speaking of drugs and alcohol, jeez.
Well, in that case,
was-
go
that
to the
was
Montclair
aggressive.
Golf Course. If you really want to do it right, go to the top deck at the Montclair driving range.
Well, if you wanna-
Also mats, beat up mats, but the bars is very nice. And lovely,
I'm
lovely
juiced.
bartenders.
I'll keep you guys posted.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I can't wait for updates. You are listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ-FM and HD1 San Francisco, always live on the Odyssey app. All right, what's that? What else is on your mind?
I mean, this is where I guess I have
He's
to
smiling.
keep it real. I think you're going to stink in golf.
We gotten past that.
Oh,
But-
yeah. I
we'll
thought
wait
he was
for
going to
the
say
video
something
to
about the
come up.
Warriors or something
Yeah.
like that. You went right back to
No,
your golf
all
game.
right. No, you have a chance.
Thanks for the vote of
If you can-
confidence.
Of course,
No,
you're going to stink at the start. Everybody does.
No, here's what I said. Here's what I said to Goo. Having not played before, he can learn actually how to swing the right way right off the bat.
That's true.
If he's going to take it seriously, and that'll put you in a good spot.
Now,
'Cause
why
you
wouldn't
got-
that apply to everybody?
Because a lot of guys go out and they play, and then I'm going to go get a lesson, but habits are developed. And not everybody
That's
can
true.
afford a lesson. That's the other reason. It's,
I might fall in that bracket. We'll
But
have to see about that, Willard.
if you can learn that little turn, that little turn,
Yep.
All right.
and you could probably hit the ball a long way.
The baseball swing is going to have to be unlearned.
Wow.
That's for sure.
Oh, he's a pitcher anyway, so
Boy, you complete me.
Our good friend from back in the day, Danny Martinez, very good golfer for the Warriors. He grips it like a baseball bat.
No way.
Yeah. He was a great baseball player.
That's pretty rare, though.
Yeah, very rare.
A lot of actual baseball players, like Major League Baseball players, will golf the opposite hand of how they bat to avoid. And I think part of it is that.
Oh, I think
it's Yaz.
Damn.
Yaz, someone on the Giants now told me that. Like, I think Yaz golfs right-handed or something like that because, and actually, I don't know if this is the direct reason, but it's helpful in the two different swings. Because imagine if you're a Major League Baseball hitter, how the hell are you going to unlearn a baseball swing? And boy, you don't want to. Can you imagine average drops from 280 to 220 and some reporter asked why? It's like, well, I picked up golf. And it's like, oh, God.
Don't say that.
Great. So, anyway.
Dude, I thought there were 4 mini Steinies in here this morning.
What you mean?
Changeover 1.
Okay.
You never know what you're going to hear when you get in the car, but I'm fired up about this Warriors second half with you guys, all 4 of you. And it wasn't on purpose. You just set it up like what's facing this team.
It's a lot.
Dude,
it's a lot.
So much a lot. And working with this guy, he was like, Goo, when Curry does, when that infamous moment comes that he hangs him up, he was like, I don't envy the player that's got to follow Steph. I was like, give me a jersey and run out there and try to be the best you can. But I'm looking at it from the Bob Myers perspective. If it happens,
right,
you're already taking over the Starship Enterprise with a wound in it. Like, Draymond may be gone. It ain't going to be all, hey, Skittles and rainbows. This is going to get, there could be some turbulence.
It just depends which direction he goes. And I was talking about worst case scenario. Bob Myers decides, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. And let's just say the word comes out that they lowballed Bob, and he goes and he's now the GM, the president of basketball ops in Charlotte.
I don't like any of it.
No. And Joe Lacob decides that he wants to turn to one of his sons to now run the team. That would be worse than if Bob comes out and says, you know what, guys, I'm exhausted. I've been doing this 12 years. I want to be a dad. I want to go coach Little League. If Bob decides to not go anywhere else and then Joe turns it over to his kids, that's better than if Bob goes elsewhere.
No doubt.
Yeah, I think if Bob doesn't come back, I think he's likely to take a year off. Like you said.
Agreed.
Bruce Bochy.
But the other thing is, I'm kind of looking at it from the other point of view. Why would he come back? Like, this would be, if they don't win it this year, this would be the time, I think. Because he's done it all. Can he really succeed going from the Steph Curry era to afterwards? I mean, that's going to be so hard to be involved in that.
I wonder when people are in that situation, that would be like saying, okay, when Brady goes to Tampa, should Belichick retire? Do you know what I mean? Does it tarnish what you've done if it's obvious that what you do next is not going to be as good?
No, right.
Because how could it be? Nothing is ever, like, we all get that, right? For the rest of our lives, I don't care how young you are. I'll tell my sons this. It's never going to be better than this for the Warriors. How could it be?
That I agree with.
Well, if that's the template, then if you're Bob Myers, why would you want to keep doing this?
I don't know, because he's a young man.
But you love it. But you love
50,
it, too.
Right?
What about you love it?
I consider that very young.
Thank you.
You love it.
Yeah.
You love it, but you've been doing it for 12 years, and you look at the prospects of the future, and the prospects of the future are Steph, and then what? Steph leaves in 3 years, and what are you left with?
What if I told you there's some people that look at that scenario and they just get goosebumps at taking on that challenge? And they're so secure in themselves.
He took it on
and what
already.
Willard talked about and what they've done and how successful collectively they've been. There is no, okay, you didn't win 4 and 8, but I just feel like too many times people don't get to enjoy what they built or what they were a part of building, and that's Bob. So I hope if Bob, and I can't speak for him, I hope 4 and 8 is not the barometer that we're all. Yeah. You earned this, whatever it ends up being.
I apologize to Bob. He's younger than you.
I know.
He's going to be
47.
48 next month.
He's 47. He's almost the exact same age as Tiger Woods. Like, I think they might have been born just a few months apart. Would you consider
Tiger's born the same day as my sister, the Kaner, December 30th.
All right. Do you consider any of those people old?
No, but I mean, Bob, in terms of what you just said, Goo, 4-8 and you're 48 and you've got 3 kids at home.
No, I get. Okay.
I mean, let's say he decides to do this for another 5 years and it's a struggle and you never have that success, and then you're 54, 55 and you decide, I'm ready to hang it up. Well, your kids might be already out of the house. If he wants to be home and be a dad, now would be the best time to go out on top if that's what he wanted to do.
Yeah, it all boils down to that. Like we always do this where, they probably want to do that. Who knows what makes them tick? Greg Popovich is still coaching the Spurs.
Man.
I mean, it doesn't change anything about what happened.
Losing left and right.
Do you know what I mean? It's the worst team in the history of ever.
More.
Yeah. So,
I have a feeling Popovich's wife passing may have extended his coaching career a little. But your point is obvious. The other thing, you guys, I think, said something that was exactly right. There's stuff going on that we don't know.
Oh, boy.
And it might not necessarily be bad stuff, but I think there's a lot going on. I think Bob Myers. Look, we love Joe Lacob, but I think he's a tough guy to work for because he wants to be. He said it. I want to be Jerry Buss. I want to get to the finals 17 times in 33 years. Those are his standards, and he's not a big excuse guy.
Right,
Lacob, and that can take a toll on an employee.
Right. But this is chapter, can I call it 2, 3, or 4? If you decide not, and hey, the Joe Lacob, I think I know you've been masterful. But this, to me, will fall under the Jerry Jones umbrella of, and I'm going the Tim Kawakami podcast, where he mentioned, and I can't speak or think for anybody, but if I were Bob Myers and it was put on national TV that my contract status is up in the air, and I hear my boss say, we got some depth in our general manager. That is subliminal. That ain't cool. And then you can look at it like a guy like Bob Myers should be a made man to where if all that you guys talked about is true, right, that should have been discussed. It should have never been on the Saturday the Woj came out before they were playing the Celtics, and Bob, the signs are there. And I just want to tell Bob, Joe, be sure that whoever you give the keys to, if it's not Bob, this is not the start of going the other way.
If we can presuppose that the years where the Warriors were off and injured and getting draft picks and the Wiseman experience, if we can presuppose, and I bet, as you just said, it's not a big excuse guy, so there's probably some yelling and screaming behind closed doors during those years. Then you get back on track and you win a ring, as Monty Poole called it yesterday, a surprise championship. Look at the way we handle championships. You usually go guy to guy and hand out whatever heck freaking contract they want. Hey, Brandon Belt, hey, Brandon Coffin, Buster Posey, Steph, Clay, I know that you're in a hospital right now, but here's your max contract. I mean, that's how we do it. And Bob got bupkis.
I don't.
Yeah, I think we're in the point where it's no longer just Joe Lacob. And this is the practical part, and I think you guys brought this up. So the Warriors win it last year, kind of out of nowhere. Bob's got one more year left. Why didn't you hit that right then?
Right.
I mean, you hit that extension right then. So that tells me they couldn't, obviously. Now it's Bob's decision as much as Joe's, if you know what I mean. And here's the thing. When's the last coach or executive that lost juice by taking a year off? I don't think you lose juice if you take a year off. Look at Sean Payton.
Well, if you do it voluntarily.
Exactly.
Mark Jackson took a year off, and it wasn't voluntarily.
That's true.
And he hasn't made it back for a number of obvious reasons.
And this will be voluntarily.
Exactly. So if Bob decides, if Bob and Joe can't agree, but Bob still wants to do it, you take a year off. Yeah, exactly. Lying around the corner. And same thing, by the way, for Steve Kerr. And you mentioned Popovich. If Bob leaves, I could see Steve Kerr saying, we're kind of a package deal. I'm good. Sorry, Steph. And then he goes to San Antonio and takes over for Popovich once they draft Wembanyama.
Oh, look at you.
That's
a guru sniff right there.
That's not bad at all.
Idea. All right, we got a boogie. Gary St. Jean at 1:30. Steiny and Guru. Here we go.